Right, everyone, so let me go to section C. Let me go to section C. That's it. Okay, so let us get started now, everyone. So before I get into the for each, I'll try to explain you some basics of what is for loop. So let me just start a new one. So for each loop. So for each, how it looks is for each data type and its instance in collection name, and then you can do anything with A. Which is the name of collection elements. Okay, so this is a very basic example of for each. Have a for each data type and a name, and you define some instance of this data type as anything. For example, string s in collection name called array list, or let's say list or array. For example, name, address, count, whatever, and then you can do anything. Either you can print it, you can manipulate it, you can do anything with the array list. So this is the basic uh, structure of the for each loop. For example, you could be having for each string s in name, and what you can do, you can simply print yes. You can write this. So what this will do, for each string in s, so yes in name is whatever are the array elements in names will be stored in yes for one iteration. This will be printed again, and till the end of this value in this name, the name will get printed every time you are having, till the time you are having the all the names in this array list. So let me explain you this with the help of example, and then things will be more clear to you. So let us say I have a array list called, let's say array. For array list I just need to have a namespace for the one. So let me have a namespace using system.collections. Okay. Or let's say even if I have an array, let's say string, even let's say I have a string names equals to, let's say, some names here. Let's say for example you have Udal, you have Prasant, you have Avinav, you have Nickel, and you have, let's say, Roman. Okay, so these are the list names. So these are the names that I have inside the list, everyone. Let us say these are the names that I have inside the list, and now let us say that I want to print each and every value. So up to now what we have been doing, we have been using for integer I equals to 0. Up to now we have been doing integer I equals to 0. I is less than, I just didn't tell you about this, everyone. Names dot length. So for array we have something called length. I plus plus, and what you used to do is to print all this value like this. So this is by using index position. We are accessing through an index position, everyone. So this way you are trying to print all the value while using the index positions. So let me have a console.read line here. So the current line, reading values with for loop slash in here. Slash. Okay. So this is reading value with the for loop, everyone, and let me see what exactly this means. So let me run this and show you the output. You got it for using a for loop. So you will present Roman, you got it by using a for loop here. And while using a for loop, you can iterate through the length of this array elements, but sometimes what really happens is you might have to be using a fixed value, for example, I less than 5 or I less than 4. You might not be able to use a length. For example, if I define something, let's say names, let's say integer id equals to new integer 100, and if I'm doing this, I'll be making a very big mistake here. Not here. So here I'll be having some issues here. Why I'll be having an issue is, for example, if I do this one, so I'm just coming id equals to, let's say, 100, 200, 300, 400, 600. Okay, actually I'm not able to assign the value to this array list. Anyway, I just can't do id dot add as value, but I can read the value from the users. Like I can just the id 0 equals to 100. Or is it that I'm making some mistake here? Okay, I'm putting it bracket. That's what it is. So let me try one thing, everyone. id equals to, I don't know if this would be the one to create value. This is the way I can do. No, this is not the way. But if I try to come on here, so this also does not work as well. Okay, let me just make it very simple. id, let's say 10 equals, okay, 0 equals to something. id 1 equals to, let's say, 200. 500 or something like that, let's say, for example. Okay, so once we have done this, now if we try to use this approach, you'll be getting error. You'll be having some issues here. For example, let's say for integer I equals to 0, I is less than, let's say, names, let's say id dot length. And if I do I plus plus, and if I try putting this value, say id I, if I try to run this program, let's say let's run save it here. Let me run this one. You can see I'm having so many zeros here. Can you see, everyone? There's 100, 200, 0, 400 and 500, right? But why is it so here? Can I have a very quick response, everyone? Why is that these are all 0 here? And why is it that this is 0? Can anybody please respond me quick for this? Can I have a very quick response, everyone? Why is that I'm having such output here? Okay, so Google is telling code. Yeah, code is obviously a problem here. But what do you think should be? Why do you think I'm getting this 000 out here? Actually, this should not have come here, isn't it? Even I should not have got this 0. Okay, you want the code. Okay, so let's see. So this is the code. In fact, first of all, let me erase this one. Let me just remove this line. Actually, you do not need this one now. So let me remove this line. And just let me have this much. Okay, let me even remove this one. And let me have this much only for now. And let me run it again. And I got this output, like I got unnecessarily 0, 0, 0, 0. And this is my code here. So do you have any idea why am I getting that 0 in this class? Do you think why am I getting this 0 here? Why do you think am I getting this 0? Because the limit is 100, absolutely. Because the limit is 100 and you are getting the 100 value out here, Vimon. Because since the limit is 100, see, if you look into your code, you have defined the limit as 100 and I can't do a jump to it now. This value may be given by the user, and only the 5 values have been used, only 4 values have been used, even the second value is not used here, so that was assigned a 0 and the remaining values assigned a 0. So very difficult problem out here. But what about the remaining has been assigned a 0. We don't need that value at all, right? We don't need the value at all. But if I do this approach, I'll be getting a problem here. Otherwise I have to do id dot I should be less than 5. So this should have worked here. This should have worked because I would retrieve only 4 value, but at the same time, okay, let me run it again. Still this is 0 because okay, that's okay for me now because I have just got 0, 1, 3, 1 and 4 second element is missing out here. And sometimes I may not know this value, right? I may not know this value, so I was using a length here. And if I use a length, this is going to calculate the total length of this array elements. So in order to avoid this, what I can do is I can use a for each loop. I can use for each, let's say integer I in, let's say, id. What I can do is simply as x can access console.writeLine I, and that's it. Now this is going to, you do not need to find out the length. Still you have an error here because of the length. Because of the length, you still got it. Is what happening is here is for each is iterating through each and every element of this array, and we need to know the size of this array. So we need to have some logic through which you can find out what array elements are occupied. So actually we can't just once you define the fixed size array, so you cannot know how many elements are used here. Maybe I can pass id 5 equals to, let's say, 600 or something like that, and I may not know because since this is taking all those 100, so this is also calculating all those 100 elements. This is printing all the 100 elements out here. So now let me change this perspective here. So for each also could not solve this problem with what was with the for loop, but by using a for each you do not need to know the size of this array elements. So we could not solve it by using a for each as well. So for each also works exactly the same way as that of the for loop. I just can't do here anything. Anyway, so let us forget about this everyone. Now let us try and get into the new scenario. This is not applicable. This is a very serious problem once you start. So let us say now I have something integer id equals to, let's say, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 900 now. In this case, only the particular elements have been occupied, and the for each will work exactly the same way as it has while loop. Let's say for each loop will work exactly the same as the for loop works here. So you'll get all those approximate value. You do not need to know the size and everything. Or you could also use the length method to tell by using a for loop and the length method to iterate to all the array elements. Now, not only with the array for each can be used, it can be used with the array list and the list. Now let us go into the list section. Sorry, array list section. So array list. Now this is very tricky for array list. Names equals to, now let's say Eagle, Nickel, Abhinav, let's say what else? Human. Okay, let us say these are four names and I want to iterate through all of them. So I'm having an issue here again. Okay, so I'm having an issue because of this one. New list. That's it. So I have four names here and I still can apply a for each loop to iterate with all these elements. So how do you do that? I can subscribe with for each. I can write a string as in names and I can print the value. Yes, would be printed here. Let's save this, let's run this value. We got 4 value here. Now even if you add this value, for now in this case, so since error is always a dynamic value, there is no unused value here. Suman, just 7. So no matter how much value you add here, so instead of knowing exactly the total of value, so this will iterate through each and every elements and now this will print the value. Actually, I was not interested in the array and array list today. I was also interested in showing you how you can use a for each loop. So this is the basic syntax of the for each loop. You define the data type, you define some instances, and in keyword and the name of the collections, which is the array list or the list or whatever this could be. So this is the basic example for each loop, everyone. So if you have a question out here, anyone, you can raise your question in the chat box. If you have any question till here in the for each loop, you can raise your question in the chat box. If you do understand it, please write it. If you do not understand it for each, do not. Okay, Neeraj is having a question. What in does? Okay, very good question, Neeraj. So what in does here is string s in name. So this is checking yes in names. For example, what is the name values? What is the first value of names? Yugal. So yes in names now yes value is Yugal. Then what is the next value? Nickel. So yes in names means the next value will be nickel. Yes in names means next value of what is the next value? So in means whatever the value that exists in your array list. Okay. So in means it's iterating through all those values that are in your array list. So first of all, it's Yugal, then Nickel, then Avinav, then Ruman, then Suman, then Savin. It's all about making iterations throughout your all those all the elements that are inside your array list. So did I clear to you, Neeraj? What does the in mean in this case? Okay. Okay, so I have an issue. Nicole has a question. So it denotes the value given in the string. Absolutely, Nicole. It denotes the value given in the, not exactly in the string, but in the array elements. Okay. So a string is just a data type for this. Okay, so Nicole got it. So Sumit, your stream is lagging. I'm sorry, Nicole, but Sumit, so I will provide you the video after my session, so you can have a link to the video once the session is complete. So I hope you understand the for each loop now, everyone. So now I'll have a very small sessions on the list today, and then once we finish the list we'll end up today's session. For now we won't make it long, and maybe tomorrow I'll plan for one small project. We'll do one small project so that you have a very good understanding about the list and the arrays and the uh, arrow list. Okay, so we'll plan for a project, small project, everyone. So now let us get started with the list, everyone. It's very easy. It's very easy. Then once you understand array, once you understand the arrow list is very simple and straightforward. So let me start a new one project, and let me just call it a list name, list example. So let us say this one example. I want to say, for example, let's a list example. Let me just take a new one. That's a list example. Okay, what list example. Create this new one. So list is very straightforward, everyone. So the syntax is very tricky with the list. So list, let me have the syntax for the list now. So list has a syntax like list and the include bracket and the data type and the name of the list name, like the list name equals to new list and the data type and the angular bracket, and we have an open bracket and a closed bracket. So this is the very example of a list, everyone. So this is how you can create a list. So let me get into the examples of the list, everyone. A very simple example I'll start with. So let me, it does not need a name, it's just called system.collection. You can directly start. The list, let's say, okay, the list. Oh, what the hell is happening here? Okay, so that I'm having some issue out here, everyone. Let me fix this issue first. So let me see what is wrong with this. Let me just go here and just give me one. What the hell is happening out here? It didn't find section C. Let me put out. Let me zoom this. So let me have this list. So this was one list string names equals to new list string. So this is the way you declare a string list w1. So I don't know why it didn't work in Visual Studio 2019. This got mad. So it's a list. Or does it require again a namespace? I don't know. Yeah, this requires a namespace. Sorry, this requires a namespace. System. So let me see. Let me use fixation and I'll come back to you. This requires a namespace. So this requires list. Let me just forcefully write it down here. String. I'll just also tell you how to fix that issue. List. And let me just show you how you can have this issues fixed here. Let me erase this and code here. And now let me see. If you browse here, you will show an option. And yeah, it requires a namespace class system.collections.generic. This requires a namespace using system.collection.generic, then only it can work. 1 second everyone, I have a small call to attend, then I'll get back to you all. हजुर हजुर भाइ यस भाइ म सम्झिरहेको छु भाइ म गरिदिन्छु म अहिले क्लास भइरहेको छ होइन क्लास एकदम खाना खाएर म तपाईँको काम गरिदिइहाल्छु है ल मलाई आज 3 बजीतिर गर्दा हुन्छ ठ्याक्कै ल So now again let's get started everyone. Okay, so actually this requires a namespace, that's why I was having an issue. Now this is the syntax for the list everyone. So do you have a question out here anyone? So do you have a syntax on this list? Actually this is what you have to do. You have to learn it. Even if you have a question you have to learn it. Right, so I can pass some list element here. So for example I can just pass again some names, for example Google. Again pass Nickel. Again pass let's say Sumit. Neeraj. Okay, these are the names I passed it out of my list. So, and again the same concept here again everyone. So either I can use the for loop or for each loop. So I can just use for integer I equals to 0, I less than a name start count. I can use I plus plus. So this is the way you can iterate with all those list elements. I can iterate with the list elements. I can just put name side. So this is one way by using a for loop everyone. Also I can do it by using a for each loop. So let me just say by using for each loop. As can make for each string as in names. Yes. Let's save it and let's have it. Good, that's it. Let me save and let us run this again. Yeah, so by using a loop you got this output, by using a for each loop you got this output. Absolutely the same concept remains the same like in error list. Also you could do something like this as well. For example, you could also do names.add. And let me add few more names here. For example, let me go here and just see one more present here. Let's say okay, Akash. Let us say Akash. You can post. Let's just green. and so on. You can add the names and you can again iterate with the loops that you want. So let me run this again. Save the world. Alright, so this is okay. Actually, the bracket here it was. It should come down here. Alright, everyone. So that's it. Okay, let's run it and see it now. So the last one you should get Akash and Sabine added. After simply you will get Akash and Sabine added on the last one. So very simple to the list array list everyone. So list and array list are absolutely the same, but only the syntax is different. The way you write the define a list is very different than what you will do with the array list. In array list, you dynamically you just do array list names equals to new array list and that's it. And use the system collection, but for array list you need a system that collections that generic. So that's all about the list, everyone, and we have finally completed our collections as well. So we are only left with a multi-dimensional array, and we also can do the multi-dimensional array, but that I'll do later on. But for now, we have finished up with the collections, and also now after collections, we are left with one more topic, very important topic called functions. And only after finishing functions, you can go into the object-oriented programming. So, do you have any question till now, everyone, till here? If you have a question, you can please raise that in the chat box. Or if you have got it, write yes. If you do not get it, write no. Okay, you go yes. Only Yugal is making me a confirmation for yes. And what about the rest? Please make me very quick information, everyone. Can I please get a very quick information, everyone? Nickel, yeah, nickel once again, no issues at all. Okay, nickel, let's see what it meant. So let us say again. So in order to define a list, what you need is to understand the syntax. For example, let's say we define a list and we have an angular bracket inside and the data type inside the angular bracket and the name of the list equals to new and the list and the angular bracket and the data type and open bracket and the close bracket. So this is the syntax for loop. Looks very complicated, isn't it? But actually it's not very complicated because it's something like this list and I have defined a string as the data type and the name of the list is names equals to new list and you could put even a colon here, but I want to add some value onto this list, so I defined four variables here, Yugal, Nikal, Sumit and Neeraj. And once you want to iterate through all the elements of the list, either you can use a for loop or for each loop. I use a for loop for the first time. For example, I can do for integer I equals to 0, I less than names.count. Names.count means whatever is the number of elements inside this array list, list will be given by names.count, and every time it is if it is there a member, then I will increment the value of 5 till the time you have all those elements printed out onto these names. So I just printed names I, that means this will print names 0, the name 0 is Yugal, names 1 is Nickel, names 2 is Smith, names 2 is 3 is Neeraj, and you don't have names for, so this one, once it's rich Neeraj, so this will end up. Also I can use a for each loop to print all the values. So for each, what I can do, I can use for each data type, instance of a data type, in and a name. So names is basically a collection name. So S in name, S values will be down Yugal, print Yugal. Yes, so again next time will be Nickel, so print Nickel. Yes, for the next time we can Smith, so print Smith. Yes, then the last time we Neeraj, so it will print Neeraj. And since it does not have any value after Neeraj, so it will print all those four values. Similarly, you can also add array elements to this collections by using collection name.add that you did in the array list. So you can do names.add Akash, Sabin. So this is just a random name that I've chosen, and in order to check that these names are added to the list, what I can do it is again use the for each loop, and I printed all those value, the names, and I got all those names populated onto my console. For example, if you see, so this is for the for loop, this is for the for each loop, and after adding the value, I got these two names added out here. So does it make a sense to Nickel or and everyone? Do you get it, Nickel, now? Not exactly for, yeah, we just use names dot add to add a value to the for each, to add a value to the collections, and for each is just using a loop that we are just trying to read the value, nothing more than that. For each means we are just reading the value, names dot add means we are adding a value to the for okay, error sorry, collections. We are names dot add is just adding values to the collections, nothing more than that. Okay, and for each means we are reading the value from the collections. Does it make a sense, everyone? Are you clear with this now? Nikhil, yes. Okay, so I think I'll stop the today's session here, and then again tomorrow we'll plan for one small project by using all the concepts that we have learned till now, and the project will be based on your GUI. I hope I accept Nikhil. Everyone, you have a idea of GUI, but don't worry, we'll cover that all again. So, do you have anyone any more questions? Then please raise your question. Otherwise, you can keep on living now. I'll stop sharing my screen. If you have a question, you can raise the question. Otherwise, you can keep on living now.